So in this little video, we'll see the different types of exceptions that exist, the different types of built-in exceptions. So on the left, I have a little code that basically keeps on asking for some code to evaluate, and then prints what will happen when I execute that command if you want. So I run it on the right. I have Python exceptions. So if I, for instance, run 1 plus 2, I asked for 1 plus 2 and it was run and there was no problem. Okay, so you can see how this works on the left. While true, I asked for a command as text, and then I try to evaluate. And if there is an exception, then it should print the exception with some information, and otherwise it should exit. And actually, there is a finally, and the finally I didn't explain before, but finally will always execute at the end of the block if everything is fine with the execution. So you asked for will show up. So if I do something like 1 over 0, well, this will produce an exception when I execute. And you see that the type of the exception produced is a zero division error, and the message associated to it is integer division or modulo by 0. And then I see that I asked for 1 over 0 because the finally also executes after an exception block. The point of doing the finally is that it allows you to close down everything you have done so far. So for instance, if you have opened a file and then you start doing all kinds of stuff, the finally makes sure that this file will be closed. Or if you have created a lot of objects in memory that you want to delete, then the finally in that part you will be able to delete those objects. Okay, so a 1 over 0 would produce a zero division error. And a zero division error is an exception. It inherits. This is a class that inherits from the class exception. So it gets assigned, thanks to this part, as to E. And then I print the type of E and E. So E is not just an exception, it's a zero division error, so that's printed. Okay, so let's look at another command. And this command would be to access the 10th entry in a little list. And this produces an index error, list index out of range. And again, the finally bit gets executed as well. So if I do, if I take a dictionary and I access, the B key does not exist, so I get a key error. So everything is fine. If I try to multiply, say, a string with a list, this should produce an error, and the error is a type error. With a string, can't multiply sequence by non-int of type list. Okay? So you see here all the different types of exceptions that can be thrown when running a Python program. So here I do it interactively by typing, but you could also do it by via the interpreter, or it could occur in your program somewhere.